Hello, Captains. Hope you're having a wonderful day out there. This is some news on Star Trek Online. This video is all about some brand new news we have for the game Star Trek Online. We've got some very interesting news to talk about here, so pay attention because, yeah, this is going to be interesting and a bit polarizing for some viewers. Now, before we get into that, let me just first state that I have done a lot of Victory is Life expansion stuff lately in Star Trek Online, if you are not aware. Victory is Life was the 4th expansion to Star Trek Online, which launched in June. Since then, it is now the end of July, since then, I have done a lot of coverage in Victory is Life. I've got a ton of stuff out there, including the latest thing I just did, which is a playthrough of the Dominion faction on a Jem'Hadar Vanguard character. Leveling him up, I have 8 videos on that to date. So check out that playthrough, that series, that playlist, to learn all about the new Dominion faction. And I will be doing more with that series as well going forward. I will be doing a bunch of Jem'Hadar Dominion starship reviews with that character. So that is not ended at all. I will be doing a lot more with that, and if you watch the 8th video in that playlist, in that series, at the very end, I explain where I am headed with the future of that playthrough. I have also done a playthrough of all the Gamma Quadrant missions on a Starfleet Federation character called Ensign Ricky. I did that before I did the Dominion faction, so I actually have 2 playthroughs of all the Gamma Quadrant missions. And so there's quite a lot there to watch as well. And then previously to all that, I have done a look at everything that is new in Victory is Life. I have played the Swarm on both normal and advanced, so you can see that new STF. And I did the new Battle Zone in the Gamma Quadrant as well. So I've got a lot of videos there related to Victory is Life. If you want to go check all that out on the channel, you know how to do all that, and there will be more to come as well as I continue to explore the Dominion faction. But today, we have a bit of Star Trek news, and you can see it on your screen right here. There is no covering it up. Star Trek Online, Age of Discovery. This is an update that is coming to Star Trek Online. Now, here's what I have to say about this before we even read about this. First of all, I thought Enterprise was polarizing, Star Trek Enterprise. Now, I remember when that series was on television. It was a polarizing TV show at the time. There were fans that liked it, there were fans that disliked it. Now, I followed a forum at the time called Trek BBS, and we would have live viewings. For example, as it would air on TV, everybody would get in this one thread on the forum, and we would discuss each episode, each brand new episode, live as it happened. And that was a lot of fun back then. So a lot of the Star Trek community was into Enterprise. And of course, all the seasons, you can debate them all you want. And it did get better toward the end for sure. The very last season was great and was starting to head in the right direction. Then it got canceled. So we all know the history of Enterprise, and it was a polarizing show, but I have not seen anything on the level of polarization that we are seeing with Star Trek Discovery, or STD. Yes, that's what everyone's going to call it. It doesn't matter what they say, disco, you know, whatever you want to call it. STD is the abbreviation. When you look at Star Trek Discovery, the abbreviation that comes first to your head is STD. So that's just the way that reads. But it is a highly polarized show, more so than Enterprise was. I mean, this is on a level I have never experienced before. There are the extreme haters that just call it absolute trash. And then there are the people that like, I love it, on the whole other opposite end, you know. And then there's people in the middle. And I guess I'm kind of in the middle. But it is a highly polarizing show. I mean, man, I just, you know, you either love it and you hate, or you hate it. And it's just like, if you like it, there's going to be a whole bunch of people that tell you how terrible it is. And if it's terrible, there's going to be some people that tell you how good it is. I mean, it's just crazy. I have my own opinions about it. I don't like everything about it. There are some things I like about it, but there's a lot of things I don't like about it. Probably, I would actually say maybe more things I don't like about it than I do like about it. But it does get a couple of things right, but it really gets mostly everything wrong. That's going to be a polarizing statement as well. I haven't really put out my thoughts about the show yet. I will say I watched the whole first season, so I did see every single episode. I watched it because I'm curious. I'm a Star Trek fan in general, and I'm not afraid to check out new Star Trek content. I want new Star Trek content, especially on TV. But first of all, it's not really on TV, is it? It's CBS All Access. So it's not like the old days where you could tune in to like UPN or something like that and there's Star Trek. No. It is on CBS All Access. So you can't even go to watch, the CBS channel on TV on a Sunday night or Monday night or whatever night and watch it. No, it's not like that. It's totally different anyway. So the format's different. And on top of that, it just feels a lot different. If anybody's interested, I could go through and make a video about all my thoughts on it. And boy, let me tell you, I have some thoughts that I could go into. I mean, I'm trying to resist right now, talking a lot about it because it's one of those things you can just really get into. But let's read what Star Trek Online is doing because that's what matters. That's why we're here today. So this is called Star Trek Online Age of Discovery. It's an update. It's not an expansion. So point of contention there, not an expansion. There is a trailer you can watch on YouTube. I'll put this link right here in the description so you can go check out this trailer and everything. Star Trek Online is about to take you into the world of the latest Star Trek TV series, Star Trek Discovery. This fall on PC and soon after on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, captains will take the first step on a continuing journey to 2256 in the height of the Klingon War. For the very first time in Stowe's history, we'll be updating the game in line with the currently airing Star Trek series. Here's what to expect from Star Trek Online Age of Discovery. Age of Discovery opens in the year 2256, just after the battle at the Binary Stars. In the wake of a brutal war against the Klingons, Starfleet captains must face Ja'ula, matriarch of the House of Mokai, sister of T'Kuvma, who seeks to alter the destiny of the Alpha Quadrant. Players will need to rely on the help of fellow Starfleet Academy cadet Sylvia Tilly, played by Discovery actress Mary Wiseman, who has come home to assist with training and see them off on their first assignment. From there, they will journey to the iconic locations from Star Trek Discovery, like the dilithium mines of Corvin II, explore the new experimental Crossfield-class starship, the USS Glenn, and defend Starbase 1 from a fearsome attack by the Klingon House of Dagor. The first installment from Age of Discovery will introduce a reimagined starting experience that allows players to create a Federation character from the Discovery era. The update also includes 2 new episodes for Starfleet Academy cadets, a new task force operation to defend Starbase 1, and new reputations that expand the game's reputation system to Tier 6 and unlock powerful new rewards. Additional details will be announced when Age of Discovery launches later this year. Season 1 of Star Trek Discovery is now available on CBS All Access. Okay, so I guess it can be a question if this is an expansion or a update. I'm not really sure. I guess we'll find out when it all happens. But there are people in the forum saying this is not an expansion. But then when I read this, it kind of does sound like an expansion. It sounds like the TOS expansion that they came out with, the Agents of Yesterday expansion. It sounds like that. It sounds like they're going to start it like that. Like you get to start in the Starfleet of old, just like we did in the TOS expansion, and then eventually propel us into the future somehow. But it sounds like that kind of starting experience. I see those parallels, and that was an expansion, so I don't know what this is going to end up being. Maybe a series of updates, maybe one big expansion. I'm not sure how it's going to be rolled out, but the fact is, it's coming. And we saw a hint of this, in fact, playing the Gamma Quadrant missions. The very last mission of the Gamma Quadrant missions, called Home, there is mention of T'Kuvma and the lighting of that Klingon beacon thing. And that is all from Star Trek Discovery. So, whether you hate it or are in love with it, the facts are Star Trek Discovery is part of Star Trek Online. And despite what they say, this is canon with Star Trek lore. Prime timeline Star Trek lore. I know that sounds wrong. but it is. Those are the facts. That's how they've made it. I don't agree with it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people with me who don't agree with it and don't like it because, well, it doesn't feel like the prime timeline Star Trek. You know, it's all very different, and they are retconning a ton of stuff, and the Klingons are nothing like. Yeah, okay, yeah, we get it. It's not really to us prime timeline, but to CBS and to Cryptic, it's prime timeline. So we have to look at it like that. CBS does own the rights, and if they want to say it's all prime timeline and they want to say it's all part of everything and it's all canon, I guess they can, even if it doesn't look like it. So yeah, there's a lot of polarization on that topic for sure. But as far as this game goes, Star Trek Online, Discovery is part of the history of this game. And that's what they're going to do. And there's going to be playable stuff about it. And there's going to be, I don't know. And there's going to be an actual voice actor, Wiseman here, Mary Wiseman, who plays Captain Tilly or Captain Killy. And if you've seen the first season, you'll understand that one. And she, excuse me, she is actually part of the game now. She is voicing her character. So, I mean, it all fits. It all lines up. It's all there. I guess really the question is, how good will it be? How good will the content be? Will it be silly? Will it make sense? Will it, is it going to be good sci-fi? Is it going to be good Star Trek? You know, all that is up in question, and we just don't know until it happens. A lot of people think that the Gamma Quadrant stuff was wrapped up kind of quickly at the end, and I agree, it was. But now we're going to get Discovery stuff. What's interesting, and that a lot of people are talking about here, is the fact that they get to develop this game being live and, having continual updates alongside an actual, quote, TV show that is on the air. That's never happened before, because this game came out in 2000, was it 2008? I forgot 2010. Came out in 2010. And 2010, 2011. So there were no Star Trek shows on at the time. And so, this is a first for the game. A first for the game. The game has Star Trek content at the same time of the game. So that is unique. And I can imagine if this game were like alive back during the TNG days or even the Enterprise days, it would be a lot of fun to have all that stuff in the game. And that's what they're aiming for. This is a real opportunity for both CBS and Cryptic, because it's like cross-promotion. The game can promote the TV series, and the TV series can promote the game. A lot of cross-promotion there, and that can help both of them. And, of course, CBS wants both to succeed, and Cryptic wants the game to succeed. So, I mean, their goals are not terrible. They want these things to succeed. And so it benefits both of them to have this cross-promotional stuff. And that's basically what I'm seeing this as, is this is all like a lot of promotion here, a lot of promotion for Star Trek Discovery. And maybe that's all this is, and maybe the content won't be very good. I don't know. I obviously haven't played it yet. Don't know what we're going to get. Maybe it will be excellent. Maybe everyone will love it. Maybe everyone will hate it. I don't know. But I'm anxious to find out. And it's going to be an interesting ride. And we just have to get over the fact, those of us that don't like Discovery in terms of keeping canon or breaking canon or everything being retconned, everything not looking like the prime timeline, we're just going to have to get over that. CBS is pushing this hard. They are pushing it hard. And Cryptic is going to be pushing this hard, very hard in this game. These things are just facts. So that's how it is. I don't know. I could say a lot more about it. Boy, I want to say a lot more about it, because I have some strong feelings too. I'm not immune to all this. I'm a Star Trek fan since the beginning. I was a little kid, very young. Well, not too young, but young enough that I could understand things, but still be very young. Single digits. And I remember watching TOS. Not as I wasn't alive then. I'm not that old, but I had a friend that I stayed at a friend's house after school. I've never told the story to anyone. This is a really cool story, so here's my intro to Star Trek, by the way. I was like single digits or something, and I stayed at a friend's house after school, right? Okay. And his father was a Star Trek fan. Now, this was like the 80s. Okay, so I'm not that old. This was in the 80s. His father had recorded, somehow, all of TOS on VHS. All of it. And I would stay at their house after school, and I would sit down and I would watch those VHSs. So the original series, I would watch on VHS in the 80s as a kid. That was my introduction to Star Trek. So I've been with it from the beginning, literally from my beginning anyway. I started with TOS, and then when TNG came out in 86 or 87, I watched that on TV. Live. I was there. And then DS9 came on TV, and I watched that live on TV. A huge event. My mom got into it too. And we were like, okay, it's the start of DS9. We got to be there for the premiere episode. And we watched it on TV. And then Voyager, and I watched that one on TV. And then Enterprise, and I watched that one on TV. And by that time, I was well online and on the internet and stuff. And so I kept up with Trek BBS, and we talked a whole lot about Enterprise and stuff, and it was a lot of fun, right? A lot of fun. And now there's this. So I've been from the beginning. I'm a huge fan of Star Trek, and that's my phone, but I'll get that in a second. Let me do that. And so I have been there from the beginning. I'm a huge fan, and yeah, Enterprise was polarizing, and at the time, I had likes and dislikes about it. I think I liked it more than I hated it, though. But then when it comes to Discovery, this one, for me, is the most negative experience I've ever had with a Star Trek series. So, I don't know what that means, but it means something. Oh, man, I want to like it. I want it to be good. See, here's the thing. I want so hard for Star Trek to succeed. To me, it's always been the underdog. It seems Star Wars is getting so much attention lately. So much attention. So many new movies. Disney bought it. It's blown up. I mean, there was a time when it was just like dead. Like during the 80s and 90s. Like I don't hardly remember hearing anything about Star Wars. And then all of a sudden lately it's just blown up in the last 10 years. I guess since they came back with movies 1, 2, and 3. But then it kind of died down for a while after that. But now it's just gotten so huge. I want that to happen to Star Trek. I want Star Trek to be huge. I want it to be so huge, but they've made missteps. JJ Trek was a huge misstep. Should not have been the direction that it went. Should not have happened that way. Should not have been an alternate timeline. It should not have been so different. It should not have been that. And it was obvious that was J.J. Abrams' basically interview process to do Star Wars. I mean, that's obvious. So that should have never happened. I think it took a big misstep right there. And then it just continued now here with Discovery. And I don't want to see that. I really, really want Star Trek to succeed. I mean, like, big time. It's my thing. Star Trek is my thing. It's always been my thing. I'm a Star Trek fan for life. But these missteps hurt me. They hurt me. I want it to succeed so bad that I will still watch it because it's Star Trek, even if just by name. But I will still watch it. And I'll play it. So this is what we're getting in the game. And you can definitely expect that I will play all of this content and make videos about it on my channel, even if I don't like it. That way you can see what it's all like and about. Because that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing these videos for you guys. I'm doing them so that the world can see this game, Star Trek Online. The world will know about it. People will come to know it and hopefully want to play it. Because, again, I'm a huge Star Trek fan and we've had nothing else but this game for the last 8 years. And so that's another reason why I play the game, is because I want Star Trek in my life, and this game was a method to do that. So all this new content, when it comes out in the fall, I will cover it all. I will make videos on it all, so you know what to do, subscribe and all that, so you can see those updates. But I will cover all of it, and we will see together how good or bad it is. Let's get on with the other stuff here. We got a new Dreadnought, new Herc Dreadnought leads an Infinity R&D promo. From July 26th to August 16th, we are running a promotion that will provide an additional bonus when opening a research and development pack. You can possibly get this Herc Dreadnought here. It's a Herc Vedkrid Hive Dreadnought Cruiser Tier 6. So that's a thing. I just wanted to put that out there. If you're into that kind of stuff, that's a thing that you can now get, is a Herc Dreadnought. Also, I didn't cover this previously, but the Excelsior has been refitted. They basically have updated the graphics on it. When we reached out to Tobias Richter to convert his beautiful high-resolution model of DS9 into a model, we were hopeful we could continue a relationship with him. Tobias is an artist of great talent and passion, and today we're proud to announce that we're adding more of his work to the game. Tobias has modeled brand new, highly detailed models for both the Excelsior-class starship, as seen in Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country, and Excelsior-class refit, as seen in Star Trek Generations. Like past remasters, these new models are available for free to anyone who already owns an Excelsior variant. They include options for the lit and unlit nacelles, and superfans of the Excelsior will know that when it initially appeared in Star Trek III: The Search for Spock, it looked a little different than how it appeared in later films. This version, as the Transwarp Experiment NX-2000, is now also available when you purchase either the Tier 5 or Tier 6 Fleet Advanced Heavy Cruiser. So that is just an update on the on that. I don't know why they specifically chose that ship to update, but I wish they would go back and update all the ships, to be honest with you. Like, make them really, really look good. Because apparently they can do that. They can go back and, like, re-engineer the models and everything and make them look even better. That'd be very cool for all the ships if they did that. But anyway, just wanted to post that. We got a change in powers here. This person, Stephen Ricosa, you might have heard of him, was the executive producer of Star Trek Online, is going away. He's been, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but he's leaving Star Trek Online. He's been known forever in Star Trek Online. I mean, he made this game a huge part of what it is. And he's leaving, so that's very big news, actually, because he's been around forever in the game. And now we've got a new executive producer coming. This is Andre Emerson. And it says, I've been producing, designing, and directing games for the past 25 years. So he's been working side by side with Ricosa and the crew for about 6 months now. He came aboard during the development of Victory is Life. And he's very excited about the fact that we're going to be able to have Star Trek Online alongside a live Star Trek television show. Again, I say it's not a television show because it's not on television. It's on CBS All Access, but, you know. So he's going to be a big part of this game going forward, and obviously directing where this game goes. He's the executive producer, so let's hope he does a good job and directs this game. I mean, this could be a big turning point in the game. It could either go good or bad from this point, and so he'll have a lot to do with that. So let's wish him the best and hope that he directs Star Trek in a Star Trek-like manner. I want to see Star Trek Online remain Star Trek. I don't want it to become a general sci-fi MMO. I want it to be Star Trek. So let's hope that that happens. So that's the big news there, really. The biggest being this Age of Discovery launch. That's what this whole video was about, really, is I wanted to talk about that. And I guess I went off on a little bit of a rant there with some of my thoughts and opinions. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about it. I have my own opinions, and they are opinions, so please don't get mad at me if you disagree with me. You know, we all have opinions. Don't get mad at each other either, Because, you know, if you like something, then that's great. And if that another person doesn't like that same thing, that's great too. I mean, we can all have and share our own opinions. The great thing about things like Star Trek Discovery is you aren't being forced to watch it. You know, if you don't like it, then just don't watch it. But if you do like it, well, then there you have something to watch. So it's okay either way. You can have your cake and eat it too. We can all be friends, is what I'm trying to say. We can all be friends. Those that like it and those that don't like it, we can be friends. We don't have to argue with each other. But what I would say is I would urge anyone who doesn't like it, who has maybe misconceptions about it, to at least check it out, because at that point, at least you can say you don't like something and have an educated opinion about it at that point. Otherwise, you don't know what it is really until you see it. But if you watch something and see it, well, then you can be like, I don't like it because, and you can say, because they did so and so, because they said this or did this. And then you would come at it from an educated experience. If you just outright say, I hate it because it's new, or I hate it because I don't like the way the pictures look, and you don't really give it a chance, then you're not really speaking from an educated position on it. You're just saying stuff you might not even know about. So that's all I would say. Is I would urge you to come at it from an educated opinion. And I would say that if somebody still doesn't like it, or somebody does like it, be friends with each other. Please do not bash each other on the head about it. We can all be friends in Star Trek, because there are Star Trek fans that don't like certain series. I like all of them. I like TOS, I like DS9, I like Voyager, I like Enterprise. I like all of them, except for maybe Discovery, but that's yet to be seen. We'll see. We'll see what happens this season. I am going to watch this next season. But, yeah, so that's where we are. I'm going to give it a chance. See, at least give it a chance. That's what I say. At least give it a chance, because then you've done that. And then what else can you do? If you don't like it, you don't like it, right? That's just the way it is. That's fine. But if you do like it, if someone does like it, yeah, just please be nice. Please be nice in the comments about this. I know it's polarizing. I know we have strong views. I'm passionate about it too. But we can all be friends. Really, we can. Okay, I went off onto another tangent again. I do that. Thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think about Star Trek Online Age of Discovery, coming this fall in Star Trek Online. Whew. I look forward to reading all of them. Thank you for watching, listening, and all that stuff. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next one.